Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Battle Lines. We're back with your week's edition. Myself and Jim Bob getting into all of the championship stuff, all the championship news, what's been going on this week, what's been going on last week. We'll be getting into a few predictions as well for the upcoming week, as you guys always know. Welcome one, welcome all. But, the primary person who needs to be the princess of the show. Jim Bob, how are you doing, mate? All good?
I'm all right, mate. Thanks. All right. Yeah. Sweet
Good
Prince. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Bit tired, I have to say.
You are grafting, aren't you? We were just talking about it before we came on. You are absolutely grafting with this second channel, just pumping out content, and fair play to you, mate. I don't know how you're keeping up.
Yeah. Probably should be a good little promo. This shouldn't. I've been nice to, and you must, if you've seen the videos, mate. I've been very, very, very nice to Sheffield United. Very nice. So
I think you're being very smart. Put it that way. In growing your second channel.
Yeah. Imagine if they knew what I really felt.
I know. Yeah. Only have to come over to one Leeds, and they'll find out, won't they? So.
Yeah, I've got to be careful now, haven't I? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Rack my likes up. Go check Jim's channel as always, everybody. At Blaze Ramble in the title above. Well, it's been. I tell you what, Jim. It's been a good week. It's been a good week for us both. Obviously, Leeds United beating Sheffield Wednesday, beating Norwich last night, not conceding yet. Forgive me. Who did you play at the weekend?
We beat Swansea.
You beat
Swansea at the weekend.
Beat Swansea, and then you beat obviously. Mate, I've completely lost it. Who'd you beat last night? No, you beat. I thought you beat Swansea the other night.
Yeah, that's what you said, weren't it?
No, the last one. That's why I was confused.
Oh, Norwich. Everybody beats Norwich.
Everybody beats Norwich.
Everybody beats Norwich.
Yeah.
No Borja Sainz and no Josh Sargent. They're no other. They were rubbish, to be honest, when we played them. It was disappointing to see.
Yeah, it's good to. It's good to. I enjoy these, mate. I enjoy it every week. Getting into the
thick
bit and the championship news. And I guess the big thing is getting into it is no one's faltering, are they? Fair play to Sunderland. They're keeping up there. Burnley. It feels like we're all on level pegging at the minute. And I presume, obviously, United fans. You are the United, by the way.
Correct. Yes, we are the first ever United.
I never refer to Leeds as United. I never have done. It's just Leeds. I'd scrap the United off Leeds. Just Leeds. I've always been a bit like that. But the other dirty side, on the other end of the Pennines, they do not gratify that name. So I'll give it to you lot.
Where is it you live again?
Oldham.
Where is it you live?
Oldham.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I got you now. Yeah.
So yeah, mate. Just getting into it anyway. What's the picture looking like for you at this moment in time? And how are you feeling about the Blades?
We're very positive over in the Steel City in the red half anyway, because we talked about it on the channel previously where we've gone past our weakest point, and I strongly believe that. And not only the results have sort of shown that, and I think we've still had a bit of a threadbare squad when we've got these results, to be honest, against Norwich and Swansea. But signing Ben Brereton Diaz, who came on and got 20 minutes other night, he's going to play on that left-hand side for us going forward. And today, we've confirmed the signing of Tom Cannon on a permanent basis until 2029 and an option of a further year. It's an unbelievable signing for Sheffield United. It's a huge statement of intent. I'm going to be talking about it over on Ramble after this, but I'm delighted, mate. Absolutely delighted with where we are. You're right, nobody's stumbling yet. But once we get Hull out of the way tomorrow night, because we're the early kickoff this weekend, and just another one that's, I'm not going to throw the fixture congestion thing in there, but it's just letting everybody know that we're playing first after a quick turnaround. You'll get a nice little break to Monday, but somebody's going to drop points.
It's not exactly a nice little game, though, is it? So
somebody's going to drop points, mate. Somebody's going to drop points, and I am looking forward to it. So we've just got to do our bit tomorrow night, and then I'll sit back. In fact, we'll be doing a watch. I know you might be, so I'm not going to obviously jump for that, but it's it's going to be a very good game. Very good game Monday night. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, thank you, Matt Leeds.
Yeah,
appreciate
cheers,
it.
Mate.
Don't know about that second bit, but
yeah, I think he was on my two.
I think he is actually. Yeah, thinking about that's embarrassing, isn't it?
But yeah, look, I'm gonna take credit, Jim. It's all right. It's all right.
That's embarrassing. I thought we were a Planet Ramble. Unbelievable, Matt.
I'm sure it means that as well.
So you said that.
Yeah, so yeah, big wins. I guess we've got to talk about the signings. Ben Brereton Diaz coming in, Tom Cannon coming in. Presumably, Ben Brereton Diaz is going to be occupying off the left, and
certainly
is
is
going to become more of a striker. And then
Yep.
you probably, as I say, if I'm talking nonsense here, which I usually do, let me know. But presumably, you're going to see O'Hare and Brewster hit the bench, and Harmer's going to be in that cam role now.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think,
Right.
well, Hamer's suspended for next 2 games.
But in general.
Oh, in general, yeah, potentially. But O'Hare won't drop out. He started very slow at United, and although he came in for no fee, it was a significant investment for the club. And he came with a lot of expectation, and he didn't really live up to that expectation. And maybe unfairly from some fans, because he was seen as the main man at Coventry after O'Hare and Gyökeres had left. We felt like we'd pulled a diamond away from them, to be honest. And the first half dozen games probably didn't really. He looked weak. He looked like he was easily muscled off the ball, not as quick as you'd expect him to be. He has become a real integral part of this team now. And anybody who's been watching us across the season, one of our Platinum Ramblers, Mr. Vancouver, has been a huge supporter of him all the way through. And sometimes had a lot of stick for it as well, because he hasn't been great up until, and he's the one that's laughing now, because Callum O'Hare is a really strong part of this team. So what we've got now is a problem that Leeds have faced all season, really, to a degree.
Yep.
It's the problem that everybody wants. It's depth. Depth in certain positions. Gus Hamer, I think, is our best player. Like if you stripped everything back, I think Gus Hamer's the man. So if you're playing your best player in their best positions, he will go into the 10. But I actually think Callum O'Hare will keep that shirt in the 10 while he's performing. Gus Hamer will do a job where he's needed. So he was doing the left-hand side. I think that'll now be Ben Brereton Diaz. I think Gus Hamer will probably move back into the 8 and maybe go alongside Vinny Souza, which in itself is absolutely formidable, thinking about them going forward together. So, yeah, it's and in terms of up front, Cannon obviously is a statement signing. He'll come in. But Tyrese Campbell returned from injury the other day. Looked absolutely sharp as Wilder said. Really, really good cameo performance. Ryan Brewster scored the other night, which is rare in these parts, but he took his finish really well, and he looks like he's hit an upturn of form. So we are now finally getting a little bit of depth. The one area I'm concerned about is behind, because we still haven't replaced Harry Suter, and that's something that we'll be working on over the next week or so, I think. But I think we could maybe do a centre midfielder and a centre half, and I'll feel very confident about the rest of our season going forward. I don't mean we're guaranteed anything, mate, but it
sounds like you've already gone up, mate.
No, I'm not a Leeds fan. I'm not a Leeds fan. I don't expect it. I saw a tweet somewhere saying going up, and I thought,
what about you or about us?
About Leeds going up, going up because you beat Norwich and you were back to the top of the table. But
is that? Did I say that? I don't think.
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
Okay,
you didn't say that.
That sounds far too positive for me.
Not negative like you. No, but to be fair, and we talked about it before, everybody's got different opinions, and that's what makes these conversations great. But I'm not counting my chickens, but I'm going to be much more confident with the depth that we'll have coming out of the window, which is what we were talking about before. And I'm interested to know that, as a Leeds fan, does that make you a little bit more nervous about not only us, but other teams that are strengthening? Sunderland have brought in some good bodies and are looking at strengthening some more. I understand the reason Leeds might not be strengthening, or they might just bring in one, maybe two at a push. Does it make you nervous that we're getting a lot stronger in this window? Honest answers only, please.
Just in a comment at the bottom there, made me laugh. Told you, Connor, you beat the carrot munchers. Delighted you beat the dark side. If we win tomorrow, I can't believe I'm saying this. Hope you win on Monday.
Dublin Blade, don't say that. I mean, we might think it, but we don't say it out loud, do we?
I like the Dublin Blade. He's a good lad.
He is a good lad. He is.
Good question. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is changed, hasn't it, week on week, really. I mean, the big thing today for us was, I don't know if you're aware, but we obviously lost Pascal Strout to injury, and we're all a little bit like, oh no.
Best defender in league, isn't he? Best defender in league.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, it's Harry Suter. It's Harry Suter. Oh, he's gone back, hasn't he?
And L's better. And L's better.
I tell you, Pascal Strout's not been skinned like an L with Isidore. My goodness, Thierry Isidore.
He's a beast, that Isidore.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah,
Come on, carry on. You were saying.
Yeah, let me finish. But he's gonna be big. So basically, we thought he was going out for major surgery. That's not happened. He's going to be back next week, which is big for us. There's no getting around the fixture list we've got. It's a big month. There's no getting around it. I will say after you, and obviously I'm gonna peter back round to your question as the politician I am. But what I will say is from you onwards. I'm very happy with our running, and that's sort of 28th of Feb, I think, isn't it? After that game, so if we can just stay there or thereabouts, I'm pretty confident. But pivoting back to what you were saying, Stroud could have been probably the one where I'd have understood this week if Leeds had have thought, right, okay, we need to go out and get a left centre back here. I'd have understood that if he'd have been out for the season, and Ampadu would have had to go at the back. Wouldn't have preferred that. We saw that last season with Ampadu. I didn't mind it, but I think he suffered a little bit with the physicality of the league towards the back end. Few questionable performances against Southampton. I personally thought Armstrong had the better of him in a couple of games. But what I will say is, obviously, him being back, he's never going to replace the keeper, Jim. So we're going to have to let the league off a little bit. We have to have a weak point, don't we? So he's never going to let I genuinely think if we had a decent keeper, we'd be flying right now. I really do. Clear by a fair few points, but that's not happened. So he's not going to do that. So Farkas wanted to make it interesting, I think. But yeah, mate, overall, I think you can sense with me, Jim, me and your pals, you can sense with me. I'm not panicking. I'm just not at the minute. I think.
Nor should you be. Nor should you be.
But you've asked me. Okay. Would I take? This is an interesting pivot on it, really. But would I take Tom Cannon? I think thinking about it. Look, if you've got Cannon and you've got Peru, or Cannon and Joseph as a duo, I like that a lot. However, right now, I'm not upset at Joseph and Peru, and I don't really think it needs improving. That's just my personal perspective. So Cannon wouldn't be someone like I'm not looking at you and envious of Cannon, but what I will say is he improves your squad vastly. Yeah. I think it's a really good sign. I think Ben Brereton Diaz, if he came into our setup, I don't think he'd start. However, you got Solomon on that side of Ramazani. However, I think he massively improves Sheffield United's left-hand side, and he's another striker option. So it improves you boys. It's really interesting when you're looking at the squad dynamics, because I sound a bit deluded coming on here and being like, well, Sunderland are looking at Akpom, they brought in Enzo Lafay, you lads are bringing in, 3, 4, maybe 5 players. And I'm just kind of happy with where we are right now. But I don't know, Jim, that's just where I'm at right now. I don't see the panic. If they do something at the end, great. It's a shiny new toy, fantastic. If they're to do anything, I'd be over the moon with the goalkeeper. They're not going to do that. So, if they do something, fine. But if they don't do anything, you've seen it, Jim. We've been pretty average the last 2 games, and we're still bringing off ridiculous quality off the bench. So
I think, I agree. And you can sort of think, oh, well, they're strengthening and they're getting stronger, but they won't get in our side. And it still can concern you. So I understand the point you're making. That's fair. The only thing you will probably be envious of is like, you've probably, well, I don't think it's even arguable, to be honest. I think you've got the worst goalkeeper of the 4 teams. And, if
he's one of the worst goalkeepers in the league, mate. So,
yeah, he is. Yeah, I know. And I love it. But that's the only thing I was saying. Everybody's got a chink in their armour somewhere. And I think Burnley, they don't create enough chance. Obviously, they won 5-0 last night, so I'm going to sound ridiculous saying that. But in general terms, their XG is quite low.
It's the only time they've scored more than 2 goals since August.
Exactly right. Yeah, absolutely. And look, we're not the most free-flowing goal-scoring side. I think we're more efficient than anything else. A bit of a machine, like you were saying. Hopefully, I'm happy to continue on that vein, to be honest. I think Leeds are unbelievable going forward. And susceptible at the back, but because you're so good going forward, you've always got a chance of winning it back round. I think the Swansea game is a prime example of that, where you got a sucker punch in just as you were heading into injury time, but you had enough in the locker to go down and still have the quality to go and put them to bed. So it's great. It's a really exciting race. Obviously, Sunderland are really strong as well. I keep talking about the 3 of us, but it's Sunderland are not going away. They're getting stronger as well. It's really enjoyable, to be honest. I'm loving this season so far. And, obviously we hope it ends up coming out the right way. Us Blades up, we're going up. You mighty Whites, I think you sometimes try and finish the show on, are hoping that Leeds go up as well. But
you got, I want you to make a bold prediction, Jim.
Yeah.
Whatever it can be, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to make a bold prediction. Everyone in the chat as well, let me know your bold prediction for the remainder of the season, whether or not it's you going on a run, whether or not it's, conceding a certain amount of goals, scoring an amount of goals, winning however many, goals of the month, whatever, let's say if Cannon comes in and gets 3 on the bounce. I want a bold prediction from you guys. Now, I'll go first because I've just put you on that. My bold prediction for the remainder of the season, and we are on the 23rd of Jan, but I'm going to stick my neck out. I think no matter what, Sunderland are going to go up through the automatics.
Through the automatics?
Yes. That's my bold prediction. So it's either going to be us, you, or Burnley who are going to go up through the automatics.
Really?
Yeah. I from what I've seen, I'm so impressed with them, mate. I think the injuries that they've had, the games up against you and Burnley, I've been really impressed with. They've got a favourable run now. They've got a favourable run at the back end of the season. I think they are so severely underrated. I think they're going to do business in the next 7 days as well. If they get a striker sorted to help Isidore, they've got all these injuries coming back as well. I think Sunderland are going to be in the top 2. I think they're a really, really good team. I really enjoy. I think against Burnley, there was one team that was going to win it as well. And I think against you, they were very, very good as well with the threadbare squad. I think it's a bold shout, but I think they're going to finish in the top 2, and it's going to be one of us 3.
I don't know if you consider it a bold shout because obviously we're sitting in that position at the minute, but I would say that the 2 of us go up. I think we're going to be. I think you're already in a position where you are stronger than the other 3 in terms of squad depth, like we've talked about. And once the window closes, nobody can do anything about that unless whatever they scramble to do before end of month. And I think we are going to be the strongest or reinforce the best, should I say, during the January transfer window. So we're not done. We've brought in 2 statement signings so far. We will bring in a centre half, and I'm positive we'll bring in a centre midfielder. Talk about John Joe Kenny coming in as well at right back. I think we'll be a lot stronger coming out of January. Vinny Souza returning, Jezran Raksaki returning. We're going to have a lot of options now, and it's something we haven't had, is depth. I always said to you beforehand, and Harry Suter were involved in this conversation, so it's slightly different now, but our best 11, I would match up with anybody in the league. It was the depth that was going to harm us, and it did. It did around Christmas time. But coming out of this window now, I'm a lot more confident, and I think the 2 of us will finish top 2. I can't tell you which order. I'm certainly hoping it's us on top. I don't mind overall, but I don't want to be wearing that Leeds shirt on this stream. I just cannot do it to myself. For those that aren't aware, we did make that bet when we first started that whoever finishes higher, the other will wear. Does
it have to be a brand new shirt? Because that's a lot of money. Can it just be like
I'll lend you a shirt, mate. I'll lend you a shirt when it happens.
Yeah, it just depends who you've got on the back. But yeah, no, it is.
Wilder won.
No, do you know what? I didn't. I don't mind Wilder. He's all right. I don't mind him. He's funny.
You don't mind old ham-faced, do you now? Don't mind him, do you?
He is ham-faced. He does have his face.
He's the Messiah. He's the Messiah.
He'd be a Messiah and still have a ham face.
No.
You love him, don't you? You absolutely love him. He's a beautiful man for you, isn't
he? Yeah.
You got shrines of him, haven't you?
Beauty is only skin deep, mate. He's wonderful.
Lewis SAFC says Sunderland will not score a penalty for the rest of the season. That was unbelievable. Like, I did a genuine reaction on the watch log on the second channel. I just sort of lost it when they missed that second. I couldn't believe it, and that's what a good goalkeeper gets you in it. So
that's right, yeah.
The collab with Jimmy has made me want Sheffield United to go up. I'm not sure it's that strong, right? To be
honest, top man.
Right, have a lie down. Andy's always in the building. Andy's a nice guy. He didn't set the mick out of Leeds as well. What about Andy going top 2? At least top. Chef second now with the signings. Burnley. Oh my God.
He's Burnley, isn't he, Andy? He's Burnley.
He is. Yeah, Burnley. Yeah, he is big Burnley fan. FFS, shout out to you, mate. When Mundle comes back, Romain Mundle, who's got to come back for Sunderland, and Enzo Lafitte comes in the 10. I think what I liked about them against Burnley in particular, Jim, was obviously you were watching that game as well. what I loved about them was that midfield. And I thought in the first 10 minutes in particular, they look strong, they look athletic, they're good technical footballers. You've got Dan Neil, you've got Joe Bellingham, you've got Enzo Laffy, and then you've got Chris Rigg. They're all really good technical footballers. And I just think if they're able to keep that midfield four and get a few bodies back, they're going to be so dangerous. They're going to be so dangerous.
I agree.
Maybe,
but
maybe the only thing that's going to bring Sunderland down is at the back. Maybe,
possibly. I think and I'm no Scott Parker fan by any means. In fact, I was laughing when they got him at the beginning of the season. But Burnley look so well disciplined. As soon as they lose possession, they're in the two banks, low block as the kids call it nowadays. But two banks of four, really tighten up, and it's really tough to break through them. So. I wouldn't discount Burnley.
Did not think Sunderland look? They just no. You can't discount them. They've conceded 9 frigging goals, but I don't know. I always just think maybe almost team performances towards the end of the season, Jim, comes to the fore. But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe if you get a machine-like team, that's going to kind of overthrow a team that just plays very exciting football. Maybe we're just at a point where Sunderland are going to miss out almost at a detriment to their style of football. That might happen.
Yeah, maybe so. It's a shame that one of the four is going to miss out, really, because we are proving that we're the best teams in the league by far, the top four now currently. We've all had very good seasons individually. I know Leeds fans aren't overly enamoured and probably expected to be where you are, but I think Burnley and Sheffield United, so many changes in the summer. Sunderland, not a parachute team, obviously a huge club, but not a parachute team. I think we can all be pretty proud of where we are. And maybe just Leeds can look and think, maybe we should be a little bit clearer than we are. And you've got to hope that don't come back and bite you, really.
Mate, just be thankful it's not last season. That's all I'll say. With the teams that were in here last season and what they were going.
It's going to be the same next year, though. It's going to be the same next year. And if you don't get out this season, it's going to be really tough.
And we'll get into a couple of your comments, guys, in just a sec, because I want to get some of your hot takes as well. So to get some of your bold statements in there. But you've not said yours, Jim. Well, have you said yours? No, because you've sort of said what I thought you just said. The top two wasn't. I don't know if that's bold. Well, that's probably predicted right now, isn't it?
I think that's harsh to say. It's not. To stick your line in sand and say Burnley and Sunderland won't do it, because I think they are going to put up a challenge right towards the end. But I can go bolder than that if you want. I think Danny Roll doesn't make the end of the season in the Chef Wednesday dugout. That's one thing I'll say.
Mate, we've already got that as a topic. We're going to get into that. Don't worry. We've got to do that at some point. But I find that the top four race is so interesting right now.
It's great.
So, I mean, even if this is where goal difference is so magnificent when it comes to it as well. And I've always beaten on this drum, to be honest with you. You'll have heard me say it multiple times, but it's really big, because what happens now, Jim, is worst case scenario. Let's say Sunderland win, which it feels like is going to just happen consistently now. So Sunderland win, they've got a decent fixture against Plymouth, so they're going to drill them by about 5, aren't they? They win, you win, and then we've got Burnley, let's say on Monday night. Worst case scenario, we lose because of goal difference right now. Even though it is so tight, Leeds still are in the top 2. We're still second, and that's where it's so important to have a really good goal difference, because you can regroup. Worst case scenario, you regroup, you go into the next game, and you respond. But it's just massive, and goal difference when it's this tight.
It is, and it's those fine margins, and that's what sort of worries us a little bit. Obviously, we're 2 points away from what we should be, and that's a club issue. So we're not disputing that that's not right or anything like that. But it does stick a little bit when you think, actually, we've outperformed where we're actually showing that we are, and if we miss out by 2 points or less, it's going to be a huge pill to swallow, and it's just not. Yeah, it's. Anyway, there are all ifs and buts, and like you said, really fine margins out there when you get to this point.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. Let's have a look. Simon's become a new member. Shout out to you, mate. Helen, member for 12 months in the building as well. Dina said, if we come out the other side unbeaten at the end of February, we have no excuses to go up, because we still have 2nd, 3rd, 4th in 5 weeks. Yeah, shout out to you, Dean. I think the end of February, if Leeds are still in the top 2,
do you know what the thing? You think you'll go unbeaten to end of Feb?
Is this what he said? Sorry, mate. I just thought if we come out at the other side unbeaten at the end of Feb, we have.
It's a big ask. That it's a big ask. But if you do it, then you've a really strong chance of going up, obviously. But it's a big ask.
I don't know. Is it that? Is it? I don't know. Is it?
You got Burnley.
We come to we go to Burnley. I think that's a shootout. That's like pretty even, isn't it? I'd be disappointed if I'm not going into that thinking we'll lose that game, Jim. I'll be honest with you, and I think I'm quite a realistic fan. I'm not looking at that. I don't think we'll lose that game. I think they've been a lot. I think they've been a lot poorer at home than they have been away. I think Andy will attest to that. They seem to be a monster on the road, Burnley. I don't know why that is, but what I would say is then we come to your ground. I don't think there's going to be a draw there. I think one of us will win that game. I don't think there's going to be a draw. I think it'll be either us or you. So whatever happens there, you look either way. But then we've got West Brom at home. Could be a bit tricky. And obviously Tony Mowbray, the big, well, it's not the big one, but the one that I think a lot of fans are going to oversee is going to be Watford away. Watford have got the 4th best home form in the division. I know you went down there and won, and what a win that was. But I hate going down to Watford. I hate going down to Watford. It's one of those at the start of the season where I look at it and I think, no. They've always got quick, athletic, explosive players on the counter-attack. They're a bit of a plucky side as well, and Watford always seem to hit you on the counter-attack. And if I remember correctly, Jim, in that game, Cooper kept you in it for a lot of it.
A lot of it, but it were a great win. A lot of people think that
he had a great game, didn't he? He had a good game, Cooper.
That's what a good goalkeeper does, isn't it? And that's what it's no shame to be relying on a quality keeper, and that's why he's there. He's done his job. You didn't mention Sunderland in there as well, and obviously you've got to play Sunderland again, haven't you? So
Sunderland, yeah.
Which I think we've got Sunderland out of the way, we've got West Brom out of the way, we've got Watford out of the way in terms of playing them twice. So I'm really happy with that. We've got Burnley left to play. We've got Borough. We've got yourselves. But Borough and you are at home. So this is why I think we're past our weakest point. Watford are a tricky team to play against. I think they've got some frailties defensively, but going forward, they can be really tricky. They've got a strong midfield, like you said. They're on about sacking Tom Cleverley, aren't they? It's absolutely ludicrous. You might not have seen it today. It's only something I've just picked up on in the last couple of hours.
No.
They're on about replacing him with some Spaniard. Absolutely ludicrous. Only thing you can think is he's kicking off about January and not getting players in that he wants. But absolutely ludicrous.
Valladolid boss poised to replace that. That's absolute mad. And actually, I'm happy at that. I'm really.
I would be if I were you. Yeah, I would be.
Yeah,
he's a good operator at this level, isn't he?
Well, his first game, I think, was against us last year, and they absolutely ripped us up. They battered us. Emmanuel Dennis tore us apart, and we managed to get out there because of a Somerville screamer. But Joe says, Cannon score 10+ goals at United. This is bold shout. Top 3 tied on points. Automatics decided on goal difference.
Oh, that's awful, Joe. Joe was a top man, by the way, but that is an awful scenario because Sheffield United lose out on that scenario because our goal difference won't be anything like it. Because Burnley pasted Plymouth. Yeah. It's not. Oh, God.
And our goal difference is, I think our goal difference is the best.
Yours is best, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's have a look.
And Burnley, even though Burnley haven't been great going forward, that Plymouth result's done them no end of good because they've such a good defensive record. Their positive goal difference is really good. So
they don't lose games. They just don't lose. I mean, this is the thing. Like we talk about Sunderland, we talk about obviously we lose the odd game, you lose the odd game. Burnley just don't lose. I mean, to be fair, across the season they've lost 2 games. We've lost 3. You've lost 4. Sunderland have lost 4. But it just, I don't know what, it just feels like even when Burnley are up against it. And that's why, to be honest, Jim, I'll be honest with this game. I'm quite excited for us to play them because no other team's going to take points off them. No other team's going to get 3 points off them. It's just not going to happen. They're either going to draw or win. So if we're going to have to go there, we're going to have to be one of the teams that are going to have to do that. And that's why I'm almost, in a strange sort of sense, this is why I'm not that bothered about it. When I get, trust me, when we're on the games, I'm going to be nervous. That's what I want. I want to be nervous. I can't. It sounds a bit, and you'll have been like this. I know you will, and everybody else will be like this. Who's a United fan, who's a Leeds fan in the chat. You kind of come up to these, and they are potential banana skins. You kind of come into the Sheffield Wednesday game, the Norwich game, and you think, all right, yeah, but we should win. We should be winning this game. And I've not got those nerves for Burnley, for you, for Sunderland. I'm going to have those nerves, and I kind of just think to myself, well, let's go and let's go to Bramall Lane, let's go to your patch, and let's rob you of 3 points. And how brilliant would that be? And you'll be thinking the same with us, getting revenge on us. And I just think to myself, you've got to take points off your rivals. And I think that's what the period that we're in right now. Because, Jim, one thing that we've got to focus on as well, mate, when we're getting towards the back end of the season, we can all talk about these happy-go-lucky run-ins, but let's be honest, these teams in and around the bottom, your Derbys, your Cardiffs, your Hulls, your Portsmouth, they're going to be minging to face with 10 games to go, because they all turn into top teams, don't they? They all turn into top form teams.
They might sack the manager as they're desperate to, survive, and then it might be a complete turnaround for some of them. It's obviously not worked for Plymouth yet, but that can happen a lot in this league. We've seen it before, haven't we? And we love the Championship. Anybody can beat anybody. It's a cliche, but it's so true. And yeah, I love this league. I can't say any other. I love it because we're a strong team in it. I wouldn't be particularly enamoured if I were bottom half and in obscurity, a little bit like blue half of Sheffield, really. But it's when you're at top end, it's really exciting. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and it's sometimes you gotta. It's weird, isn't it? With this, I mean, I think it's because it's our second season now. It's only our first. I think there's almost like a little bit of a desperation within our fan base, because it's like we can't the next season. Nah, I mean, you'll be more balanced if you, let's say hypothetically, you were to stay down, Burnley were to stay down, you'd be a lot more balanced. I think you'd sell some of your major assets, but you'd be able to spread that wealth a little bit across, depending on who you sell, obviously, and if you're able to accrue that money in. But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather a second season with a balanced squad like we kind of have now, as opposed to you maybe having more of a balanced squad next season, and to go into that next year is going to be. There's a genuine conversation about Everton going down. That because
there is.
I'm still looking at Ipswich and I'm thinking, I think they might stay up, Jim. I
think they could. Of course, they could.
So
yeah, they could. No doubt about it. No doubt. It's going to be whichever three come down. The gulf is that big now between the leagues. Whichever three come down. Southampton are awful, absolutely awful this season. But you look at some of their players on paper, and they are strong Championship players, really strong. So they'll come down, and immediately, if they're not completely downbeaten, I think Danny Rowe ends up at Southampton next season when they go down. I think that's how it's going to go. And he will galvanise them, and they will be a real force in this league. So it's going to be minging, like you say, next season, isn't it, in this league? So yeah, that's why another reason why we're scrambling to get out.
100%. Please touch on Watford. I mean, come on, man, so harsh. Yeah, I presume FFS you're on about Cleverly. It's good for us, mate, if we're going down there and they're getting rid of him.
Yeah, it is.
Jack's a Sheffield fan here. Jimmy knows I'm very nervous. Between the four, I believe we'll be very close. A little bit more of a realist, Jack. Good to have you on, mate. Our consistency is my issue, but we grind out those wins. I'd be interested to see what you mean by consistency. Obviously, I know you've lost one game in 5, but yeah, obviously,
small performances. We're not always that convincing, to be honest. Even though we do.
I don't think you're great to watch. Every time I've watched Sheffield,
we haven't been recently. We haven't since we've lost the players, the first team players. We haven't been. Yeah, Harry Suter going is a big loss. All the Arblaster early doors was a huge loss to us. We've lost Vinny Souza, we lost Tyrese Campbell, we lost Kiefer Moore. It's been a real tour at times to get through some of these games. And if you saw us against Swansea in first half, we were awful, absolutely awful. We were lucky to go in 1-0 down.
Do you think that was a penalty?
1-0 down.
Penalty on the Swansea lad?
No, definitely not. But I would say that one.
Definitely a red card, though. Was it on Darling? Yeah,
100%. 100%. What a dirty play. No, to be honest, we grinded it out, and it were a different team second half. And that's been happening too much, and that's where like some of Jack's nerves might come from and stuff like that. But I understand it, but we've got to enjoy it while we're up there, because I think we'll only get stronger now. And
it's only going to be nervy. It'd be less nervy as well. It sounds ridiculous, but if the other two teams, I mean, even if Burnley were just like, or you had a team in third who were 4 or 5 points behind you or whatever, and then there wasn't a fourth team, you'd be feeling so much easier. It's the fact that you've literally got I mean, it's cut off now. But Sunderland, you can't believe this. Sunderland are 10 points ahead of 5th now. 10 points. We've completely cut them off. We've it's just a 4-horse race now. So yeah,
which is why a lot of our lads and lasses are wanting Leeds to beat Burnley on Monday, because you'll open a bit of a gap. If we win, then it opens a bit of a gap. A little bit of a gap. So
yeah. Well, Burnley, if Burnley obviously beat us, I mean, you've literally you'll have. What will it be? You'll be on if you win. That is, you'll be on 61. We'd be on 59. They'd be on 59 as well. I mean, it is just so tight. And you're expecting Sunderland to beat Plymouth, so they'll be up on 57 as well. So yeah, mad. Andy says really average against the low block teams at home. Better teams, don't know. Sunderland was an even game until the last 10. Monday's just massive. Yeah, it's a big game. Ball prediction, Leeds will end up with the most clean sheets, even with the hologram in there. That is a genuine possibility right now. I'm not even kidding, which is absolutely staggering, which I think is why, mate, look, let's have a look at the clean sheets. It's got to be us and you. It's got to be us and you. Clean sheets in the Championship. It has to
Burnley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but we're second. How are we second? That is insane.
That is insane.
Yeah, we're second. Melier's had 27 matches. He's kept 16 clean sheets, or we have. And then Trafford's kept 18.
Oh, so when you keep clean sheets, it's we. And when you concede, it's Melier's fault. That's disgraceful.
Yeah, that's what is on this channel.
Justice for Melier.
Give over. Listen, as I've said multiple times on this channel, if people are new, if he'd saved us in these games, then I'd be like, fair play, Melier. But I can't think of one game this season where he saved us. Can't think of one. So I'm not giving him the clean sheets thing. Harry SAFC says Sunderland have got to batter Plymouth considering we are at home and our goal differences. Yeah, I agree, Harry. And especially when you see what Burnley have done to him. And
they'll be on the floor, Plymouth, won't they? They will be on the floor.
I think they've got 7 or 8 injuries. Morgan Whittaker decided not to turn up, by the way, which
shocking. That's
bad. You don't want that. I mean, if you're
Burnley, does that put you off?
Yeah, it does. For me,
it does me.
For me. Yeah, definitely. That definitely puts me. And Borough as well. It's not a good look. Apparently he just went AWOL, just didn't turn up.
I know.
Yeah, not good.
Aaron Ramsdale did that for us.
Did he?
It don't get forgotten.
No, I bet not. Sheffield United have a great run of fixtures before the Leeds game. Yeah, they do indeed. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just get into. I think it's really key. Obviously, mate, you were talking just about Sheffield Wednesday there. I think obviously when we're just talking, reverting back to transfers and stuff, it looks like, and we'll probably come back to this, but it looks like Shea Charles, obviously, who's rumoured with you boys. Obviously, if you don't know, Shea Charles has been recalled by Southampton. He'll be going back today, I think, because he had 2 games remaining. He'll be going back, and Sheffield United had come in, according to Danny Hall, I think, pretty good source when it comes to, is it the Star, Jim? I think it's the Star.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, very good source.
And Tom Cram the Wednesday lad, was also saying that Sheffield United were then in. But it feels like, from what I've read today, I don't know if this is your understanding as well, that he's almost prime for Sheffield Wednesday, and it's all dependent really on a loan fee that could potentially be agreed. But we know that Chansiri doesn't like spending a lot of money, and we know that Chansiri is horrendous in negotiations. So is it one of those with Sheffield United where you just wait, you do the long game with this sort of transfer?
Viva Chansiri, we love that man in red half for Sheffield. So long may he reign, long may Chansiri reign. That's the first thing I'll say on that. We don't often talk about the blue side of the city. I'm sure you don't talk about Man United and Huddersfield an awful lot on your channel either. But if you're asking me the question, pal, I would say this is another masterstroke from Chris Wilder. He does improve as Shea Charles. He's a very good player at this level. We have got other options on the table, so it's not like all the Blades' eggs are in the Shea Charles basket. But what it does do, it forces Wednesday to up their offer and spend their January transfer budget on one player that they already had. So even if they get him, then it's we're laughing because they had him anyway. But we would like him. And that's I don't think it's been done just to rile them. I think he comes in and he improves us because it's an area that we're weak in after injuries to Vinny Souza and obviously the big Ollie Arblaster injury. Tom Davies is now out for a couple of games. Sidney Peck's been absolutely running to the ground. He weren't expected to play 10 games this season, Sidney Peck, and he must be up at 20 already. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing. We'll see what happens with Shea Charles. I'd love us to get him just for the banter, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. We've got a couple of others that we're looking at as well, and I think we'll definitely strengthen in centre midfield before the close of the window. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think it'd be a big power move if you did that. And also, I think it clips Wednesday in terms of any sort of playoff hopes as well, which I think is key to touch on. Because I think Shea Charles, it doesn't look like they're going to do a lot of investment. And I think Bannon and Charles have looked pretty decent in midfield together. And yeah, I have to say, Jim, I said this to you as well. I think against us, I was very surprised by how systematically good they were. They were cutting off passing lanes. They were pressing in the right areas. And
He's a good manager. He's a good manager,
yeah,
I have to say.
yeah.
And that's another thing. We might have got some big teams out of the way. That is always just a
Big one.
form goes out the window game. We've got to go to Hillsborough in March. It's the most hated fixture on the calendar because there's every chance that, I'm not even going to say it out loud, but they could disrupt our run, if you like. That's probably the kindest way I'm going to say it. So it'll be very nervous around that time. That's just as nerve-wracking as playing a Burnley or a Sunderland or a Leeds away, that for us, particularly at that point in the season.
Well, I think as well, like they'll be hyped up by all the sausage
Of course
roll
they will.
wild and stuff, won't they? And
Of course they will.
if you manage to pip them to share, but to be fair though, Jim, even if they keep Shea Charles, they're going to see that as a little bit of a win, aren't they? So
of course they are, yeah, and that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
I'd rather be where we were in table and not have Shea Charles. So
yeah, I don't
think they'd swap us.
I don't know where he'd get. Well, yeah, he'd probably fit into your midfield, but
he would. He would be getting alongside Vinny Souza at the minute. Having said that, with the signings we're making in Gus Hamer, when Gus Hamer's back, he's not being dropped, is he? So yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yep. Harvey says, Sunderland fan here. I really believe if we bring him Akpom with Mundell back. Yeah, Akpom. Do you remember his run at Middlesbrough in the champ?
I do. Purple patch. I do.
Yeah. And Mundell back, who's arguably our best attacking threat, and with Laffy in his main position. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. And then you might be looking at me right now and be like, Connor, you're an absolute mug. How are you not getting nervous about Leeds not going out and getting anyone? I still see yesterday, you kind of, I don't know if we were 2-0 up at the time, but you're seeing Gilavoggi, Joseph, Nonto, Ramazani, and Joseph all sort of warming up, you know what I mean? And you kind of at a point where you're a bit like, well, I mean, we said it last week as well, didn't we? We said you have a 15, 16 man squad. It's not really a 28 man squad, is it? Ever. Only 15, 16 get utilised, to be honest.
That's true, but and I understand your point, and it is formidable. And I think going forward, you are the best in the league. There's no argument I need to make on that, really. But is it a little bit like getting all IPM group in, if you like, to shout out one of your sponsors and getting loads of brilliant security at the front of your house, and then you've got a shoddy old back door that you can kick in with one swift boot? You're still going to get burgled, aren't you, at the end of the day, even though you've got every chance of keeping everybody out from the front. It's if you've what
I would, and I mean, what the context is, that's melee. I think the defense have been really good. They're really good this year. I think we've been really, really good.
Which is as until we lost Harry Suter. Now you've lost Strike or Strauk, however you call him, however you pronounce it. And Ampadu goes in and does a job, no problem. Like Jack Robinson's come in and done a job for us. I'm not saying Ampadu and Robinson are similar players, but Ampadu's playing out of position, which is why he isn't as effective as he should be. So it's a weakness, isn't it? And it's something that you'd like to see you improve on. Like you say, if Strike's coming back or Strauk's coming back, then it's going to be a huge boost for you going forward. Because I thought he might be leaving this window, which I was sort of getting a little bit giddy about.
Let's stir the pot. I'd have chained him to Ellen Road, to be honest. But yeah, mate. So we'll get into some of our. We'll get into some of the results that we had from. Actually, we did it quite a bit ago, So I'm just going to run through them. So we had Burnley, Sunderland. You went for a 1-1. I went for a 2-2. Obviously, that ended up 0-0. So we're kind of on the same wavelength for that. But so we've both got no points for that one. Sheffield United, you had a 2-0 Sheffield United win. I had a 3-1 Sheffield United win. So you have 3 points for that.
Yes, I do.
Literally. 0-0. Oxford, you predicted a 1-0 win over Blackburn. I predicted.
That all right, wasn't it?
I predicted a 2-0 win over Blackburn. So you have done all right this week, I think, Jim Bob. However, you did say Portsmouth 0, Borough 3. I said 0-1. So neither points are shared there. Obviously, Pompey getting the win. And then we go a little bit further down. We both said, I said, you said 3-1 Leeds. I said 2-1 Leeds. So I have literally got none right on that game week. Fantastic. But luckily enough for me, we did go into another game week.
We did.
Both of us said that Blackburn would win. You went with a 2-1. I went with a 4-1 Blackburn. So nil plat on that one. We both said Sunderland were going to lose. You said 1-0 Derby. I said 2-1 Derby. So I'm doing really well this week, Connor. Well done.
That sounds ridiculous in hindsight, doesn't it?
That's terrible. I mean, the Blackburn one, Coventry beating them 2-0, and I went 4-1 Blackburn. That's probably the worst of the lot. And then we've got Borough against West Bromwich Albion. We both went with I went with a Borough win. Sorry, not we both. I went 2-1 against West Brom, and you went 1-1. I think that was a 2-0, wasn't it? So nil point there. You went with a 1-0 Sheffield United win, and I went with a 1-1. So none there. And then you went with a Leeds 3, Norwich 0. I went with a Leeds 2. Norwich 0, so I grabbed 3 points.
Yeah, you weren't as good as I thought you were going to be. So.
And then Plymouth Argyle, you went with a 2-0. I went with a 1-1. So yeah, mate, we've obviously got another game week, so we'll just share the screen now and we'll get into it again. Everybody in the chat as well, let us know. Do this every week with the championship matches. We write them down, but Jim has won that 2 game weeks. He's won that 6-3. Which is fantastic. We'll do some sort of prize giveaway at the end as well. And we will actually record it from there as well, Jim. Even though I won the one a couple of weeks before, which we didn't record, but
did you?
I'll give you a little,
I'm not
sure. A little bit of a start.
Can't remember.
Right. Okay. Sheffield United, Hull City. What are we saying?
2-0 Blades.
Okay. What's everyone in the chat saying? It's going to be out some absolute stonkers.
1-0 Joffy, says Matt. Matt,
yes,
Matt who loves both our channels, like he said earlier.
See his goal. See Joffy's goal.
No,
unbelievable.
No, I'm not bothered.
Mate, scored an absolute score. Oh, come on, what's wrong with Joffy? Joffy Gelhardt, what a player. The next Wayne Rooney apparently didn't work for Leeds. So you've gone 2-0. I'll go with a 1-0.
1-0 to who, Connor?
Sheffield.
Yeah.
Another boring.
Another boring top of the table clash.
Another boring result.
Descenders top, yeah.
And then we'll go with next one on the cards. We've got Luton Millwall.
You go first then, because we'll alternate if we're going to tally it up.
Hold on a sec.
It's not fair me going first all time.
All right, Jim. Jesus, didn't know.
Why are you going Luton Millwall? I thought we just did top 6.
Oh, we do, don't we? God, it's because I've done the other video today, mate.
Yeah, I'm not putting working like your second channel. Bloody hell, what do you think it is?
All right, let's go down then. So West Brom, I think, are 7th right now, so we're not touching on them. So it's PNE versus Borough.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Borough 5th, aren't they? So I'm telling you now.
Okay.
It's that second
yeah, well, that's how far away they are, isn't it? Eki to do as a job. 1-1. 1-1. Oh, well, you go first. You go first, don't you? So if you want to pick that, you can do.
I'm going to go with a Borough win here. I'm going to go PNE 0. I'm going to go Borough 3. Big win for Borough.
Sticky patch at minute, Borough. 1-1 for me.
Need to get back on it, don't they? Okay, so then we'll go to... That's going to be a good game, by the way. 1 point separates them. That'll be interesting.
Come on, the arse.
Sunderland, Argyle. Jesus Christ.
4-0.
Yeah. Few results coming in here. 4-0 you've gone with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've also said 4-0, but I'll change it.
Oh, go for that then. You go for that. I'll go for a 3. I'll go 3-0.
Okay. 3-0, 4-0. Yeah, I think they're going to absolutely Plymouth. I don't know what's going on at that club. Right, I'll go first this time because I've just realised that I was supposed to be going first that time. Okay, so then we have... Is it just Leeds? Is that, and then are we done?
Blackburn, isn't it? Blackburn at Bristol.
Blackburn at Bristol, that's the one. Yeah, Blackburn at Bristol. I've gone with the 1-1. Blackburn lost 2 out of 2. They're struggling at the minute. What are you thinking?
1-1's a good shout. Bristol City just came back, didn't they? got a draw at Hillsborough, which were pretty hilarious. I'll go 2-1 Bristol City. Riding the wave of momentum.
Okay. 2-1 Bristol City. Chance for the playoffs for them, maybe?
No, not quite. They're not going to have well, in fact, to be honest, I hadn't looked to see how far away they are.
Yeah, they always just end up finishing 13th or 15th, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
2-2, 1-1, 2-1 Blackburn, 3-0 Sunderland 5. But imagine if it was back-to-back. Timmy says, ball prediction, Middlesbrough will be a Premier League team next season. Yeah, I mean, you forget, still in the playoffs, still in with a hunt. Imagine if one of the top... Because the thing is, two of those teams are gonna fall out, aren't they? Fall out of favour.
Yeah.
That'll be an absolute blow at the end of the season, won't it? So it might hit the old mentality a little bit. Right. Okay. So and then
somebody's going to fall apart, aren't they? You could say.
You could. Yeah. You could.
Again.
Mate, I think we've beaten you 4 out of the last 5 times. Simmer down. Right. Burnley. Burnley Mighty Whites.
Mighty Whites. 1-1.
Okay. I want to know what Andy's saying as well in the chat. Now let's get some of the chats up before I do the old Hail Mary. 0-0, 1-0 Leeds, 1-1. Burnley 0 Leeds. 5-0 Leeds. That's right.
No bias involved.
Imagine if we do that. We just obliterate their defensive record and bang 5 in. That'd be brilliant.
I'd love that, to be honest. That'd do us a favour. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, it'd be interesting next week, me coming on if we're beating Burnley 5-0. Cock-a-hoot. I'm going to go with Burnley 1, Leeds 2. I think we're going to win. I'm confident, Jim. I'm confident ahead of that one.
That's good. That's good.
I think Sid says the same. Chris has said the same as well. I get the feeling. I think they've got Hannibal back. It's going to be a bit of a boost for me. He just in that home game. Well, when it came to Ellen Road, he was a you-know-what house. I'll be brutally honest, and it sort of like was winding everyone up. So he can be a bit of a thorn. We know that.
Ex-Man U, so
that's that, mate. That's what the whole thing was. It was all around him, and he loved it. So, but yeah,
when he doing all this when he came off? Is that the game that you were doing that?
The worst one was he wasn't Hannibal actually. It was Sami Ento. He went off. He'd had no impact in the game whatsoever, and he just put in the L in Ellen Road. And I think he's done he's done
good
Blackburn
old Sami Ento.
He's done Blackburn as well with Burnley.
Always liked him.
Putting the W in Ewood Park and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm confident for that one. But yeah. All right, mate. Well, we'll leave it there. It's been 52 minutes of pure delight in your company again. Thank you, everybody, in the comment section below. Make sure you check out Jim's channel, Blaze Ramble, in the title. Please
right now.
Subscribe.
I'm going live in 1 minute. So
yeah,
see you over there.
He's going live. Make sure you catch him out. And guys, as well, we have a second channel. You can join that. Just my name, Conor McGilligan. You'll see it in the description as well. And we'll see you in a bit. Cheers.
Up the blades.